ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भवते उत्तमश्लोके भवति मज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य पादाय कृष्ण वेदान्तस्य। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणी श्री चैतन्य प्रभु द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapters. That most exalted devotee, Maharaja Bharata, in this way engaged constantly in the devotional service. Naturally, his love for Vasudeva Krishna increased more and more and melted his heart. Consequently, he gradually lost all attachment for regulative duties. The hairs of his body stood on end, and all the ecstatic bodily symptoms were. Tears flowed from his eyes, so much so that he could not see anything. Thus, he constantly meditated on the reddish lotus feet. At that time, his heart, which was like a lake, was filled with the water of ecstatic love. When his mind was immersed in that lake, he even forgot the regulative service to the Lord. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love for Krishna, 8 transcendental blissful symptoms are manifest in the body. Those are the symptoms of perfection arising from loving. Since Maharaja Bharata was constantly engaged in devotional service, all the symptoms of it manifest. So our acharyas say that this is the stage of bhava, not prema. So, but bhava is the first ray of prema, meaning it all these symptoms manifest, but prema, the attachment or the love for the Lord goes on increasing. The next stage is prema, where anarthas are completely destroyed, so there is no chance of falling down. So Maharaj Bharat had not reached prema, but he had reached bhava because he subsequently fell down. But we can understand that he had very exalted position. Exalted. Maharaja Bharata appeared very beautiful. He had a wealth of curly hair on his head. He was wet from bathing 3 times daily. Dressed in a deer skin, he worshipped Lord Narayana, whose body was composed of golden effulgence and who resided within the sun. So Surya Narayana. Maharaja Bharata worshipped Lord Narayana by chanting the hymns given in the Rig Veda, and he recited the following verse as the sun rose. Now, the predominating deity within the sun is Hiranmaya, Lord Narayana. He is worshipped by the Gayatri Mantra Om Bhurvosva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. He is also worshipped by other hymns mentioned in the Rig Veda, for instance, Dheya Sada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti. Within the sun, Lord Narayana is situated and he has a golden hue. वरो रजस्सवितुर्जातवेदो देवस्य भर्गो मनसेदं जजान सुरेतसाध पुनराविश्य चष्टे हंसं गृध्राणं कृषद्विङ्गिरां महा. This is the prayer he was offering. The Supreme Person of Godhead is situated in pure goodness. He illuminates the entire universe and bestows all benedictions upon his devotees. The Lord has created this universe from his own spiritual potency, according to his desire. The Lord entered this universe as the super soul, and by virtue of his different potencies, he is maintaining all living entities desiring material enjoyment. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who is the giver of intelligence. The predominating deity of sun is another expansion of Narayana who is illuminating the entire universe. So we can understand that he is not a demigod. The Lord enters the hearts of all living entities as a super soul, and he gives them intelligence and fulfills their material desires. As a super soul, the Lord enters the hearts of all living entities. Tamasamidantantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. Thus, the universe and the atom as well. Rigveda, the predominating deity of the sun, is worshipped by this. Narayana sits on his lotus flower within the sun. By reciting this mantra, every living entity should take shelter of Narayana just as the sun rises. When the sun rises, Prabhupada is saying we should chant this mantra. According to modern scientists, the material world rests on the sun's effulgence. Due to the sunshine, all planets are rotating and vegetables are growing. We also have information that the moon's shine helps vegetables and herbs grow. Actually, Narayana within the sun is maintaining the entire universe, therefore, Narayana should be worshipped by the or the Rig mantra. So, those who are Brahmin initiated, they worship Surya Narayana by the Gayatri mantra. Or those who are with this. Anyway, all the Vedas are supposed to be on. Yes. For us, for the rest, we can just chant Hare Krishna now. Okay, so this ends the 7th chapter. Description of the character of Bharat Maharaj, chapter 8. Sri Shukadeva Goswami continued. My dear king, one day after finishing the morning duties, Maharaja Bharata sat down on the bank of the river Gandaki for a few minutes and began chanting his mantra, beginning with Omkara. O king, while Bharat Maharaj was sitting on the bank of the river, a doe, being very thirsty, came there to drink. While the doe was drinking with great satisfaction, a lion which was very close roared very loudly. This was frightful to every living entity, and it was heard by the doe. By nature, the doe was always afraid of being killed by others. And it was always looking about suspiciously. When it heard the lion's tumultuous roar, it became very agitated. Looking here and there with disturbed eyes, the doe, although it had not fully satisfied itself by drinking water, suddenly leaped across the river. The doe was pregnant, and when it jumped out of fear, the baby deer fell from its womb into the flowing waters of the river. Every chance of a woman having a miscarriage if she experiences an ecstatic emotion or is frightened. Pregnant women should therefore be spared all these external influences. Being separated from its flock and distressed by its miscarriage, the black doe, having crossed the river, was very much distressed. Indeed, it fell down in a cave and died immediately. Late King Bharata, while sitting on the bank of the river, saw the small deer, bereft of its mother, floating down the river. Seeing this, he felt great compassion. Like a sincere friend, he lifted the infant deer from the waves and, knowing it to be motherless, brought it to his arms. This is the result of material compassion. People ask about how we have to be with other people when they're in distress, etc. So, the more we show material compassion, we will go the way of Bharat Maharaj. So, it is not hard-hearted to not show material compassion. It is just for the protection of our devotion. Because we are in such a weak, shaky state in our bhakti that showing any kind of material compassion in any situation might just drag us down. We have to understand whether our compassion is material or spiritual. If it is on the bodily platform and we are feeling bad for what others are, their material problem, issue, etc., that's material compassion. Okay, can somebody tell what is the difference? What will be the difference between material compassion and spiritual compassion in terms of feeling or thought process? Because it's important for devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Material compassion is more towards like pitying or or sympathy.
Compassion. Spiritual compassion.
Spiritual compassion is uh, more towards equanimity,
What does that mean?
as in like we try to see any living entities in the same platform.
Then what do we show? What? How do we react?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So material compassion is comforting the living entity in terms of financial or their position state. That is if you think material. And spiritual compassion is like the Jivatma is being in this material world for so many lifetimes. So taking them back to Godhead.
Yeah, but
So
what will you do when somebody says somebody has lost some dear one? What is spiritual compassion? What is real compassion?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Material compassion is only related to body, and
I
spiritual.
want to tell. I want to understand. What will
uh,
you tell? You went to somebody who has lost a dear one.
no.
What is material compassion at that time? What is spiritual? When you express more material compassion, what will we say? We express spiritual compassion, what might we say?
Spiritual, we have to give them the knowledge of the soul, and the and what is the relationship with
No,
the
this you
Lord.
will do when you have gone to meet somebody who has
No,
lost
no,
dear
no,
one.
no, no,
I'm
no.
asking, what will you do when you go and meet?
Mm. That not when we go and meet. Before, if they get this knowledge, it is.
No, before, no, not before.
Mm.
Go to go and meet. Okay, no suggestions. Okay, so material compassion will basically mean that we are actually, it's not about what we are telling. Material compassion is, or spiritual compassion is about what we are feeling. Telling, we might tell the same thing. For example, we might go and say, oh, we are so sorry to hear about your loss. Right? Now, which is true to the extent that the person is feeling the loss. We are not necessarily endorsing that person's feeling that loss. Just 1 second. So we might say, yeah, then we might just talk about, okay, what happened, whatever, right? Just comfort that person at that point of time. The idea is that, at least they will feel that, okay, some devotees came and done, etc. And not, the important point here is that we are not affected by their sorrow. We're not affected by their sorrow. But we are affected by the fact that they are ignorant about reality. This is spiritual compassion. Material compassion means we also sit along with them and cry. Literally, we'll cry because we are also feeling the same pain. We should not do that. We should not go down to the platform of material compassion. We can do whatever it takes to make that person feel comfortable with the only aim that I want to help this person out. I want to give this person Krishna consciousness. But at the right time. But before we can even speak anything about them, you might have to, it's about building a relationship. They should feel faith in us. They should feel some genuineness in us. Right? So we are there for them. Right? But we are not uh, taking part in their material sorrow. It's very important that we don't go down to material platform. Because when we go down to material platform, many times we see devotees affected badly by losses, and they just forget the reality, the whole, all this knowledge. I am not this body, I am spirit, soul, everybody is a soul. All these bodies are temporary. Everybody, sometime anybody and everybody has to die, going to lose our loved ones, or they will lose us. I mean, this is our bread and butter knowledge that we hear that we have to remember every day. But when a situation happens and when we forget this, Bharat Maharaj, whatever Bharat Maharaj is, of course, he is a devotee and Lord is teaching us through him. But that is the state. He being feeling that, the motherless. Now we'll see how his compassion engulfs him, consumes him. Right? And this is what is going to happen to all of us. If we come down to material platform, we will show material compassion, material feelings, material emotions, and it will consume us. We will see actually very, very picturesque description of how he falls down. So we should understand saying that whenever we have some difficult situations in our life, should not forget basic knowledge that I am the spirit. So one thing that is actually helping me is whenever I am getting into situations which might drag me down, I am remembering some relevant instruction. For example, say suppose I'm thought of sense gratification comes to my mind, then what comes to my mind at that point of time, I think about, okay, I am not here for sense gratification. If I do sense gratification, I will not get Krishna. This statement I tell myself, so that one side of my vasana, my conditioning is asking me to do something non-devotional, then by practice of devotion, whatever little spiritual have, we should at least be able to recollect this some statement from the Shastra, which might at least make us think for a moment, think whether what I'm doing is right or wrong. And it should be very, very powerful. It should be important for you. For example, in this statement that I tell myself that if I engage in sense gratification, I will not get Krishna. That is very important for me because I want Krishna. So that suddenly wakes me up, jolts me, and then okay, we'll say no, no, no. I absolutely too small thing that I'm going behind because the small thing. If I have to lose Krishna, no, I'm not ready for it. Right? So something which will prevent us from falling down. Of course, it's not that we will protect ourselves in all situations, but we have to try. Depend on Krishna. But we should never come down to the material platform. Bodily conception of life, Prabhupada. Deha Buddhi. Where we just completely, simply, conveniently forget that I'm the body. Not the body. The laws of nature work in subtle ways unknown to us. Maharaja Bharata was a great king, very advanced, devotional service. Almost reached the point of loving service. Almost reached the point. Even from that platform, he could fall down onto the material platform. Bhagavad Gita, we are warned, Yamina Vyathanti Ete Putram Purushakshava Samadukasakam Kalpate. Person who is not disturbed again by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for. So we should not become disturbed by happiness. This is so important, and somehow devotees are not able to understand the importance of this. And we willingly like to get disturbed because it gives us some mental, some satisfaction. Oh, I cried for somebody. I mean, just conditioning. We feel like that. Or somebody is not going through a difficult time, and we don't think, oh, what will that person do if I don't worry about that person? If I don't, then we think, oh, I'm become like a stone. But Shastra is saying, don't be disturbed. Don't be disturbed by happiness and wisdom. Remain steady. This is very, very important, and important to practice this. Very important to practice. I just finished. Spiritual salvation and liberation from material bondage must be worked out with great caution. Otherwise, a little discrepancy will cause one to fall again into it. Please understand that whatever little advancement or how much ever we have raised above material existence can get destroyed very easily. If we don't exercise caution, we may just fall down instantly, and that much progress, whatever we have done, would have taken us years, might just lose in few days, few months. By studying the activities of Maharaj Bharat, we can learn the art of becoming completely freed from all material attachment. Art. Why? Because otherwise, if we don't get freed, then we will see what happens to him. As it will be revealed in the later verses, Bharat Maharaj had to accept the body of a deer due to being overly compassionate for this here. So, no question of material compassion. No question of material. We should be compassionate by raising one from the material platform to the spiritual platform. Otherwise, at any moment, our spiritual advancement may be spoiled and we may fall down onto the material. Maharaja Bharata's compassion for the deer was the beginning of his fall. So this, what we say in Kannada, yo papa, oh, so sad. All this is the beginning of fall down. Like I said, not that we are going to become stones or rocks, emotionless, but it should all be spiritual emotions, spiritual compassion. Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, even though like if we understand this completely, but for example, in my case, sometimes due to my mother feeling unwell or sick, sometimes the tears roll out automatically. So that is also a material compassion.
Absolutely material.
So
Absolutely material.
okay, but
It's material, but like Prabhupada says, some relations might have natural affection. So the reaction of shedding tears may happen, but instantly we have to remember saying that this is material, right? And recover ourselves and try to help that other person. Maybe if that other person is on the material platform, we might help that person on the material platform. But our ultimate goal with every interaction that we do with any jiva in this material world, irrespective of who it is to bring them to Krishna. That should be our ultimate goal. In our mind, the goal should be how, or we should keep thinking, okay, this person is in distress. Okay, how can I help this person? How can I bring this person to a platform, to the spiritual platform? Like Prabhupada is saying here, no? Compassion means raising one from material platform to spiritual, for which we have to remain on the spiritual platform, right? To pull somebody up. If we only go down to their platform, then neither can we help them, nor can we help ourselves.
yeah.
So it's not that we should prevent tears from coming. Okay, tears are coming, it's fine. But we have to immediately remember, because see, we have to remain undisturbed in happiness and bliss. Please, Remember this, because then people will remember, oh, Narayan Prabhu said, no tears for even mother. Shastra is saying that don't be disturbed. Important thing is not to be disturbed. Okay, maybe there is some emotion associated with it, but we should not go in that direction too much. Meet everybody on the spiritual platform and try to help them.
Okay. Thanks.
And see, one more thing is when others are in distress, they will also be more receptive to hearing Krishna consciousness. You have to find the right time. Oh, that is art. Like I say, preaching is an art, right? So you have to find out the right time, find out the right way of presenting whatever you want to present. And maybe at that time it's not about the negativity, but it's about the positivity and happiness that one feels in Krishna consciousness, and how their devotees, even though they had so much of distress, they never felt the distress because of their involvement in bhakti. Something positive to give them a hope, saying that okay, see, they can also come out of it. Sorrow, something like that, right? But not like, oh no, yeah, this is Dukhalayam, we are going to suffer, we can't do anything about it. It's just going to worsen their situation. Better than keep quiet, not say anything. But by your presence, maybe you should give some positivity. Because the devotees have that that positive energy around them, because Krishna is there with them. Naturally, somebody might see a devotee and feel happy. Oh, so nice that you came. This itself, many people have said, I've seen that you come and say, you coming itself shows that Krishna's mercy on us. Like that. So yeah, let them feel happy. Let them feel that the Lord is looking at them. Them come closer to Krishna through this process. But if we only go down to material platform, what will we help them? Yeah. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, with respect to this, how do we reflect ourselves whether we are acting on material compassion or spiritual compassion? While what I have understood is we don't react to happiness and sadness, and we be the same towards both is closer to spiritual compassion. But how do we reflect that? Whether how is our transition towards it,
You should
Prabhu?
only know the way you are dealing with situations. You should only know how much material, how much. Okay, so the symptom of this, okay, one good question in one way, that how much your mind is consumed by this consciousness, by that problem. Because how much you have advanced. So if while chanting, whatever some situations happen, and you're in your chanting, the thoughts of those situations are coming, and that is a material situation, then on the material part. Maybe initially our whole 16 rounds was, occupied by that thought. Now we might, after we make some progress, we might say maybe 8 rounds gone. But then we say, no, this is not worth. I should actually be focusing on the Lord's name. Might pull ourselves, try to pull ourselves, which is spiritual progress. Spiritual progress compared to a situation where we might just have given up and sadness did our 16 rounds. Or maybe 8 rounds we are doing in sadness and 8 rounds we are trying to come out. And then in course of time, 4 rounds we might be in sadness, 12 rounds will come out. Like that. And then we'll reach a stage where thought will come, we'll just drop it, saying the chat. I've done anything. And anyway, it was ordained, man. Krishna knows best. It's all over. End of the brooding or lamentation.
Okay, Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Else? Yeah, Ankita.
So Prabhu, this Bharat Maharaja, when we say na Prabhu, it is said na devotees para dukha dukhi. So no matter in which body the soul is, the
Yes.
compassion for the foe is expected from Bharat Maharaja. It means he we should not feel compassion at least for the one who are completely helpless. It's a born baby and that has to be taken care.
Yeah, but
Even
why should he give up his devotion?
did he give up his devotion
Yeah, he
completely?
gave up everything. Gives up everything. He falls down. That is fall down. See,
I
this is the
mean,
process of
no,
fall down.
no chanting of the Lord, nothing he did except taking
No,
care of the
he
deer.
gave up everything. He was doing everything initially. You will
Hmm.
read that. So what Bharat Maharaj does is initially he brings it home, feels motherless. Then it's the beginning of his fall down. And what happens subsequently? Subsequently, initially he's doing his sadhana, but every time, okay, like he's doing some puja, something, his consciousness is only on the deer. So he's looking out, saying that, oh, where is the deer? Oh, deer is not, I'm not able to see the deer. Okay. And he's all the time he's thinking, how can I make the deer comfortable? Uh, oh, the deer is, and then he's developed so much attachment. He's looking the deer, oh, so beautiful, so nice as it is, its, eyes, like this. And eventually he could not even stay for a moment without the deer. This is
It
his
generally happens with all the mothers. Now I have the same love and affection for my kid. I always think about her.
think about her, but what you make her a devotee and think about her, it's fine. Don't
Okay.
think about her concern, worry about her future, what is going to happen, this, that. I mean, if you do all that, that basically means that we don't have any trust in Krishna. We think we only have to take care of everything. See, love for your near and dear ones has to be on the spiritual platform. If you love somebody, give them Krishna Bhakti, bring them to Krishna consciousness, make them self reliant, self dependent, meaning they'll depend on Krishna, they will not depend on us. That is
It is
real
with
love.
human beings, na Prabhu.
Huh?
Here it is with human beings.
Yeah, human beings
And
only.
in case of Bharata Maharaja, the deer is not in a position to
It doesn't
understand
matter.
bhakti.
It doesn't matter. It's all our mental logic that is coming across, right? See, just imagine for a deer, we might then say, okay, deer, no, I won't be so attached to an animal. But the Shastra is always showing us extreme examples. So that even an animal can bring you down. What about human relations? Generally nobody will be so much attached to an animal, but it resulted in a fall down. The Shastra always wants to teach us by extreme example, just to make us more cautious, saying that I should not take this lightly because then I might just lose my devotion. And yes, mothers, your love for children, let it be, even I am a father. Also, I have love for my child, but that's not on the material. In fact, sometimes it feels like craziness, praying for to make, I pray to Krishna to make my daughter devotee. Even though if she's going through a lot of trouble in her life, my only prayer is that let her depend on you. Let her come to you. That's what I want, because then I would have done my duty. Not if she became something materially big or something. No, then I'm not done my duty. Maybe it's okay. I mean, if it is destined for her to become something, that's fine. But what is my responsibility? Is to make sure that she depends on Krishna. She becomes a devotee and Krishna. Sometimes, we should look at misery and feel happy, because if that misery brought some soul to Krishna, happy. Oh, nice. Krishna became merciful on this path. Krishna answered my prayer. So, basic thing is we have to remember this. That this is very easy to fall down to material platform. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's difficult, but We have to learn this, Shastra. Else? Anybody else? Yeah, and we can understand Matajis will generally have more difficult understanding or accepting. But uh, okay, so we'll end here.
Sincere
So,
chanting, book reading, following the principles, this will help na Prabhu to come to this stage.
yeah,
Generally,
we have to hear and take things seriously, right? And we have to chant with attention. We associate meaningfully with devotees. Then it will help. Those activities without the intent that I mentioned may take much. I'm reading, but I'm not taking anything. I'm chanting, but I'm not even trying to control my mind into hearing. I'm associating, but again, it's just material like Hare Krishna, how are you, nice, no, but nothing Krishna conscious. Then it's going to be there. It's there. It's better than non-devotional activities, but it might not really help us so much. But if we take whatever we are hearing seriously, we chant with all sincerity, trying to focus the mind on Krishna. We associate with devotees with full intention, respecting them, serving them, trying to learn from them. Then we will come out of all this.
okay, Prabhu.
Do we think going to Krishna is so easy? And it's easy and difficult. Why is it easy and difficult?
Process is easy, but difficult to realize it.
Okay. Any other definitions for easy and difficult?
Easy
Tricky,
to
Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
easy to follow and difficult to keep advancing at a regular pace.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
I was saying it's tricky, Prabhu.
I've given only two words, easy and difficult.
Yeah,
It's
easy to
actually easy.
understand, but difficult to
No, it's
apply.
easy to understand also, easy to apply also, if you want to. The difficulty is that we don't want. That is where the difficulty is. The beginning of conquest is the faith that I will conquer, I will get over. And it's not egoistic feeling. It's just Krishna is there, process is powerful, acharyas are there. Yes, I will conquer. But it has to start with I want to conquer. The difficulty is this I want to conquer doesn't come in us because we feel comfortable with that conditioning. Hence, it is difficult. That's why Bhagavad Gita says it's easy for somebody whose mind is in control, difficult for somebody whose mind is not in like that. So we have to just start with just saying, no, I want to get over all this. I want to come to this platform. We should see ourselves, in the future, being completely not disturbed by happiness and distress. Just having complete composure when we are dealing with difficulty. We should see ourselves, like foresee ourselves, the future. And we should also foresee ourselves, like Kalada Shrudharaya, Gadan Vadanam Gada Ruddaya Gira Pulakar Nichitam Vapukada, that we are crying, torrents of tears are falling from our eyes, coming from our eyes, then our hairs are standing on end, our body is trembling. We should foresee. I think we should feel, yes, one day I'm going to get there, this life. Right? And if we have that, if we want that, all difficulty will become, because we'll never look at anything difficult at all at that. We know that everything, all this is required for me to get to that stage. Then we don't feel troubled. Is that okay?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yeah.
Dandaprana. I don't know, like Prabhu, as you know, I had recently lost my younger brother, and Prema Kunti Mataji had lost a grandson. And my reaction and my behavior was nothing even close to what you decided. Like it was listening, practically going through it. I don't know in what state I am. I mean,
But we can
preaching, like like Prabhu, like Bharat Maharaj, you say like in your class, you said material this thing. I'm not in such a position where I'm above material